we might have found the best signal yet. And this one, he's not the same as the others. He's more serious. He knows his stuff. And I mean, stuff outside of what you see on the charts. So he's not just doing the usual technical analysis like many of the traders I reviewed before. And his vibe feels kind of different. Like, I don't want to fall into cliches, but he looks more like the kind of guy I would ask financial questions to. And he's looking into why the price moves. Like, what is pushing these candles up and down? And that's done by understanding things like employment, inflation, central banks, interest rates. He trades both the Forex market and the US stock indices like the S&P 500. And I usually review big names of the industry, but Chuck was recommended to me by my audience. He's newer, he's up and coming, but there was a lot of similarities between us. He does reviews on YouTube just like me. And I also trade indices using fundamentals. So I decided to give him a review. And although fundamentals are very powerful, we will see that as it's often the case with trading, it's not always a smooth ride. We're halfway towards our take profit. So this is another loss. It was the right call with a sniper exit. I'm about to put my money on the line for you. I have a fresh $10,000 account with IC Market. We're testing Chuck Index signals. Okay, so I subscribed, I'm in his VIP, and I can see that there is two strategies included. There is one on GBP USD, it's a scalping strategy, and then there's an intraday strategy on the S&P 500 where he trades using fundamentals. He's consistent in the way he sends his signals, so that means I can automate it. And for that, I just added it to my copier setup, and I will share my settings with you below. And while you're there, please click that like button, it really helps me. Let's look into that strategy for SP 500. I like this. This is what I also trade, the US indices like the SP 500, the Dow Jones, or the Nasdaq. We can see his analysis in the free Telegram channel, and it looks like he trades accordingly in the VIP. Looking quickly, I think what we see in the free channel is already great content if you want to start learning about fundamentals. So that would be things like how a piece of news about maybe interest rate cuts or having more inflation than expected would affect the currency like the USD or the stock market, and therefore the indices like the SP 500. So for this strategy in the VIP, I can see that he uses a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, but we can also see that he takes partial closing when he is in drawdown. He will manage risk. So this means it should give similar result to a more or less 1-to-2 risk-reward, because he's cutting early the trades that are not going well and he's holding on the good ones. I really like this. This is very similar to what we're doing with Lord of the Signal. So now the only thing we have left to do is wait for our first trade. And we didn't have to wait very long. The very next day, I got my first trade. So we already got a trade on the scalping strategy, and this one was quick. We were in and out of the trade within 30 minutes, and I already made 3% of profit. So this seemed to be a strategy of his own. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but he says that it usually happens around 3 p.m. EST, and it's counterintuitive, but he would take advantage of the fact that we have low volume at this time of the day. So I guess it could make sense because you wouldn't get taken out of your trade by big wicks. I do have to bump up my lot size since we're scalping and we're aiming for just a few pips, but overall I'm pretty happy with a great first trade. Good morning. Chuck is looking into a short position today on the US 500. He posted his analysis in his free Telegram channel. In the news today, they're talking about persistent inflation that is not good for the indices. So he just sent his signal. I think it's got good potential, so let's see how it goes. We got the trade going short on SP 500 at 50.46, but this time the move wasn't sustained. The market ended up moving up just enough to trigger our stop loss. So this time we got the stop loss. So this time it didn't go as well. Chuck is showing a 1% loss in his signal channel, and on my side I'm risking a little more for the SP 500 trades. My risk is set at about 3%, but since we are managing risk when we're in a little bit of drawdown, well, I'm not losing the whole 3%, so it does help. Overall, we're still in a little bit of profit. We're sitting just below 1% in our $10,000 account. We're currently at $10,086. Today's Wednesday, and I guess we could say that things are not going as well now. Chuck went for a retracement after the drop we had in the indices lately, but it didn't happen. So in the signal, we had a buy trade on SP 500, and he sent it just before the market opening. But when it did open, well, it went down. So this is another loss and we're not in profit anymore. Our account is now down at $9,850. It's a new week and let's hope for good results. Please wish me good luck by hitting that subscribe button. The SP500 has been going down for quite some times now, and it seems like Chuck is looking once again for a retracement. I think it makes sense at this point. The fear of inflation from last week seems to be behind us. The trade came in and it was very similar to the last trade we had. I got the entry at 49.76 and the risk reward was just above 1-to-1, and this time the trade paid off. So we're back in positive territory. So there was no drawdown on this one. The price flew straight to our take profit and I made $381, so that's about 3.8% of profit. Overall, our 10K account is back in profit and we are 2.3% up. Good morning. Since we last talked, we had 2 new trades with the scalping strategy, and now we have 1 new trade running on SP500. The 2 scalping trades on GBP/USD closed just above break-even, so together they gave more or less 1% of profit, but the trade running on SP500 was going well. It's quiet on the news side with the fundamentals. There's just not much happening, so Chuck said that for this trade he went mostly with the technicals, and we're halfway towards our take profit. Later that day, I got what I was waiting for. Ladies and gents, this is another win for us. Chuck made the decision to close the trade a little early, and it was the right call with a sniper exit. And this trade brought in 2.8% of profit. Overall, I made $500 in just over 1 week using Chuck's signals, so that's about 5% of profit in 7 trades. What I like the most about this is, of course, it's the profit, but it's also the knowledge that comes with it. People don't talk enough about fundamentals, and for me, this is the most important thing. It's even more important than anything you can see on the chart. So I'm very happy with the results. I don't think I could have asked for much better. Please tell me in the comment section what you guys think. Also, I will leave a link to his channel below. Make sure to subscribe while you're there and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my reviews. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.